what you had to do. Sean wasn't loyal. Sean was a pawn. You sacrifice pawns for the greater good.
We doing shit that's gonna stay with us forever. Look, we deciding who we gonna be for the rest of our lives without even knowing who the fuck we are now.
So that's Jukebox, and her transition is something we've been gradually seeing across season 1, which will no doubt continue into season 2 and is going at a far more advanced pace than Kanan's. She's someone who understands the world that they live in, and there's consequences to their actions. They've been doing shit that would stay with them forever, and slowly over the course of the first season, we've been seeing pieces of Laverne being taken out of this character, and there is still so much more way to go before she actually becomes this savage and cold character that we saw on Power, but she is definitely well on her way. She's also someone who has the mannerisms of the older Jukebox nailed down to the T, and also going into season 2, living with Raquel and getting even more closer to the devil will definitely add to this cold-heartedness character that we saw on Power, and with Raquel showing her devil's side in the final episode of the first season, there are definitely a lot of parallels between Raquel and Jukebox's character that we saw in the original show. So we're going to run through Jukebox's story arc and how Jukebox's character will transition into this cold-hearted savage and the similar traits that she showed to Raquel. We're also going to be looking at some 48 Laws of Power as usual, but of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 and Power Universe related. But let's talk all things Jukebox and how she's always aware of her surroundings, who her family is and what they're capable of. She knew ever since episode 2 who was responsible for the death of D-Wiz. When she saw him getting into Lulu's car, she knew that Raquel and Lulu were the ones who had him killed. She told Kanan that there are secrets about their family that she knows that he doesn't want to know, and these are one of the many secrets I'm sure she knows, because Raquel and Duke have this relationship where they share their secrets with each other. In episode 3, she said that she doesn't fuck with what Marvin's into, which is why she's more focused on pulling licks, but even then, she wanted to leave that double life of hers behind that she was living as Jukebox and living her life as Laverne with Nicole. Something that she wasn't able to do because she was taken away by something Kanan cooked up. But instead of throwing the blame towards Kanan, she showed maturity and understood that this is the world that they live in. She told him that it's not his fault, it's not her fault, it's the place that they live in. And she understands that actions have consequences, especially with her family, especially with Kanan, telling him not to fuck it up time and time again just like she did in Power. And most recently telling him after what he did, he should be shook, because she knows Kanan better than anyone. She told him that everything that he touches, he fucks up. But that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be a dumbass kid, and nobody's supposed to get hurt. But that's not how it works for them, because they're playing in a grown folks world, and they've been doing shit that's gonna stay with them forever. And they were deciding who they were gonna be for the rest of their lives. And as Kanan left for Maryland and left Jukebox behind, it was no coincidence that we saw 2 police cars coming across Jukebox in the final moments of episode 10. This symbolized the life that Jukebox was going to go into later on in her life as Kanan chose his path. But with Jukebox, Raquel told Jukebox in episode 9 that sometimes it is good to have cops on your side, and this is definitely going to be a contributing factor to her becoming a cop later on in life. And this brings me on to talking about Raquel mentoring Jukebox over in season 2 of Raising Kanan. As Marvin is now locked up and Kanan is now out of the city, we've already seen Jukebox move her bags into Kanan's room, and we're going to see her build this relationship with Raquel. So we're going to see her getting closer to Raquel, and I don't know whether she's going to get into the game because she told us in episode 3 that she never fucks what Marvin's into, but will she fuck with it if Raquel asks her? Let's wait and see, because from what we know from Duke so far and from what we know from her in Power, she was always focused on pulling licks, and I really doubt she would get into what killed Nicole. But let's talk about some 48 Laws of Power and some of the traits that are similar to what we've seen with Power's Jukebox and Raquel. And the signs were definitely given to us very early on as Raquel slowly started to show us how she really was the devil from episode 2 onwards when she sacrificed D-Wiz. After what happened on the corner of 140th with him and Kanan shooting Buck 20, Raquel sacrificed D-Wiz because he was a pawn, and this is something very similar to how Jukebox treated her people in Power. When we were introduced to her character in the robbery that went wrong, she killed Wookie because he didn't follow through with the plan. And all of these characters were Jukebox's pawns on a chessboard. She even made reference to the pawn analogy in her conversation with Kanan when we were introduced to her character in season 3 episode 3. She told him what Kanan did with Sean was the right thing, because Sean was a pawn and you sacrifice pawns for the greater good, and this is exactly what Raquel did with D-Wiz. He was a pawn on Raquel's chessboard and she sacrificed him for the greater good, because the streets needed a body, and this is who Raquel sacrificed. Just like we saw Jukebox sacrificing people in Power, she told Kanan after the jewelry heist in season 3 episode 4 that he saw what she did with Dirt. She kept him around until he wasn't useful to her anymore. This is why we saw Kanan kill Dirt in the jewelry heist. This is how she used people as pawns, and this is how she used people to get her work done, just like we've seen Raquel getting others to do the work for her. And as the 48 Laws of Power teaches us with Law 7, you get the others to do the work for you. You use their skills, time, and energy to further your ambitions and power, while you sit back and take credit for their work. And then you'll be looked upon as a great leader for your efficiency, and you come off as more of a powerful individual. And this is exactly what Raquel did throughout the first season of Raising Kanan, as she sat back and got others to do the work for her on a number of occasions. When she needed D-Wiz killed, she tasked Lou to kill the boy. When she wanted to deal with the problem of Unique and Detective Howard, she used Kanan and Marvin. She used Kanan to kill Detective Howard because Detective Howard would never see it coming from him, and because Kanan had a lot to prove. Because of all his previous fuck-ups, she also used Kanan because he wouldn't question killing law enforcement. As I've mentioned before, killing law enforcement is always a bad idea because it brings way too much heat and attention on you and your organization. Something that Lou understood when he stepped up to Raquel, telling her that she was crazy for using her only son to shoot a cop, and that they'll all be brought into questioning and given deals to turn on each other, and no doubt something that Lulu would have been against because he's the voice of reason for the Thomas family, just like we've learned before from his character description. And as I've mentioned with a Unique's character analysis, leaders need to be questioned about their decision making, and this is what Lulu would have done in this instance. But this is how Duke also used Law 7 over and over again in Power, when she had people pulling licks for her, while she used her power as a police officer to then just cover any of the licks, not actually putting herself on the firing line. Having the DC crew and Kanan robbing the jewelry store and Kanan killing Dirt, she used Law 7 of the 48 Laws of Power, and she had others to do the work for her. So this is something we may see Raquel teaching Jukebox in Season 2. Now they're also two characters. When they make a plan, they stick to the plan. We've seen what Jukebox did with Wookie in the News Agents when he didn't stick to the plan, and Raquel has always followed through with her plans, trying to kill two birds with one stone with Unique and Detective Howard, despite Lou and Scrappy being out of action. So the Powers Jukebox showed us she has a lot of similar traits to what Raquel portrayed to us throughout Raising Kanan's first season. Now Raquel also showed us that she's someone who wants to stay detached from love, because when you hesitate in this game and you don't have your head on a constant swivel, it could prove costly, just like it almost did for Lulu. That's why we saw her dismissing Symphony until she realized in episode 10 that he's the only person that she could turn to, calling him to get Kanan out of the city. And with Jukebox, the lack of love, the lack of relationship with Marvin, she's gonna remain detached from people after all the rejection that she's had in her life. Her mom Kenya left her when she was young, and Marvin was sent to prison twice now. She's also lost the one person who was able to bring the Laverne out of Jukebox and wasn't even able to go to a funeral. And even this powerful scene that we saw between her and Marvin, when Marvin said that Nicole got what she deserved. Jukebox has been through a hell of a lot at a very young age, which shaped her future. And as she said to Kanan in episode 10, that they're deciding who they're gonna be for the rest of their lives without even knowing who they are right now. So who is Jukebox right now? She's someone who has suffered a lot of pain, and sooner or later she will become numb to any sort of pain that she has, which is why she has such a disregard for life and power, easily killing off people and using them as pawns. And her double life is slowly dying. Laverne is being killed off, and Duke is going to take over, and even more so in Season 2 when she's under Raquel's roof, as Raquel will no doubt start to mentor Duke a lot more. And after all of this, I really wouldn't be surprised to see Duke ultimately being the one to kill her own father Marvin, which could be the moment where Laverne completely dies and the real making of Jukebox's character. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section about Jukebox's character, what we saw from her in Season 1, and how she's now living with Raquel, and how this could change her going into Season 2. So drop me all your comments down below, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.